Turismo 4 in the Formula Championship. That is if YouTube wants to... There you go. Nice. Okay, yeah, it started a little bit late sometimes, but today I want to spice things up a little bit. Well, probably a mistake, but essentially there are two ideas I have in mind, but it really depends on the track. I don't know what track is coming now. Damn, Le Mans already? Well, that's unexpected. I 20... Wait, no way. 23 laps in Le Mans, that's an insane amount. Well, that's something. I was gonna say spice things up, but if we're going to Le Mans, I think things are already quite spicy as they are. Okay, hold up. Should I remove the... I think I'm gonna remove the traction control completely. Maybe it's a mistake, but yeah, there you go. No racing aids whatsoever. I mean, Le Mans shouldn't be that hard of a track to do this, right? Surely. Well, we will see. I have a feeling that manual transmission is most likely gonna be harder. That's the reason why I don't want to use it in tracks like this one where it will be a problem. So this is no racing aids whatsoever. But then 23 laps in Le Mans is a lot, dude. Like, a lap in Le Mans is, in a car like this, I guess it's 3 minutes and a half. I don't know how much that is, but it smells like a lot. So wait a second, why do these cars have a red light? Is that a bug? That has to be a bug. That's supposed to be the nice start. But hold up, that thing is a bug. It's not supposed to be always on, right? God damn it. That's a pretty bad start. Well, I kinda have to get used to the car as well, but I have to get used to the lack of traction control as well. Hey, that has to be a bug. The lights are not supposed to be on all the time. I wonder what even triggered that bug. And it's not only on my car, it's on the other cars as well. Well, in some tracks you could say that the lights are on simply because, you know, it's nighttime and they need to light up the track, but that's not the case here. So I don't know what they are smoking with this. Well, there is also another problem in Le Mans, and that is that, well, the laps are obviously very long, which means that you will have to stop at a very specific lap, because you don't want to reach the end of a lap, or, well, not even the end, but like halfway through a lap in very bad tires. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, honestly. I'm kinda concerned. Maybe doing manual transmission would have been easier. You see, the thing here is that taking into account the tire consumption. No, you know that I think that manual transmission is probably a bad idea no matter what. I actually think that manual transmission will probably be the worst idea. Like, these are very, very fast gears. Something tells me I will have to pit in every 2 laps. In fact, it feels like pitting in every 2 laps is a lot. Doing it every lap seems like an insane exaggeration, but I don't think I can do more than 2 laps without pitting in. I don't think it's gonna work very well. So the scary thing here is that... ouch. is that I am not even first place yet. That's bad, no matter how you slice it. That's quite bad. But the good thing about Le Mans is that, let's say that things are very bad, you can always catch chicanes in this version of Le Mans. I wonder if the other version of Le Mans is gonna show up. Like the one without chicanes. And this first corner is so hard to do, it's crazy. Like I keep getting fucked by it like it's nothing. And the issue is that if I cannot reach these guys before the straight, not having slipstream on that straight is basically a dead sentence. It really is. I'm not sure what to do. Oh, that's right. I changed the controls in case I did manual transmission, so now looking back is on L2 instead of L1. Well, I don't know how it was by default. Maybe that's how it was by default, but I'm used to having it in L1. The fact that I'm not first place yet is very, very concerning. Extremely concerning even. I blame the lack of traction control. I mean, nobody told me to not use traction control. That's my decision, but yeah, it's fucking me up quite a lot. I miss that. Well, at least there aren't that many corners, so having worn out tires shouldn't be extremely bad. But I'm still scared. I feel I'm gonna withstand another lap without pitting in. It might be a mistake, but honestly, the tires are not even showing a shade of yellow yet, so... The issue are corners like that. There aren't that many slow corners in Le Mans like that. It's a very fast track. Well, you will also see probably the fuel consumption being higher than in most of the tracks. That's probably the lap that I'm gonna be losing the most amount of time to. I mean, this last sector in general. This last sector requires confidence that without traction control I don't have. I clearly don't have. Ah, come on, dude. I cannot get close no matter what. And the other guys are getting close. Yeah, this is a bad situation to be in right now. I need to ace this corner. Yeah, at least I didn't waste time on that corner. Well, not too much time. Still didn't do it that fast, but it's crazy how I just cannot reach the podium. That was very close. Like, the podium still keeps escaping me. And there's not much I can do about it. At least, seems that this race is gonna be interesting. At least. And by that I mean that it might be the first one I lose. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna lose it. As I said, I have a plan B with the chicanes. That plan is always there. In a track like Le Mans, we always have that fail-safe. I wonder how this would have been with traction control. Would it have really been that different? maybe not. I don't know. Problem is that the tires are starting to get yellow, so not pitting in on this track might be bad. I am trying to take the corners very slowly, so ironically my tire consumption is probably not even far from them. I feel like I might be very close to their tire consumption here, most likely. But I don't know when they are gonna stop. Obviously, eventually they will have to... Fuck. No, not fuck. They will have to stop for fuel. I think that they can manage without that. Jesus Christ. These slow corners really are fucked up without traction control though. Without a doubt. Because for the most part, I mean, aside from mistakes, I'm not really drifting with the tires, which is something that I usually do when I have traction control, because I don't care to, well, take care of the tires. Okay, these guys are not pitting in yet. Like, these guys are still going, no problem. I mean, you will have to pit in eventually, so assuming I pit in 4... Oof, that was very close. Hold up, I need to collect my thoughts. If I pit in lap 4, that means that I need to pit 5 times. But if they pit in lap 5, well, or if I do, it's 4 times only. But with sits, it's even worse because it's 3. I will have to pit in next lap though. I mean, even the fuel seems like I will benefit from doing that. Since I don't think I can get an advantage here, the real issue is that I do need to be in their same strategy. I think that pitting in now, I don't know. I really want to follow what they do. Well, being first is also impossible to anticipate what they are gonna do, but I think I have to pit in here. But it would be devastating in a track like this to not have slipstream on straights like this. It really would be. I am very scared. Also, I don't think that doing that corner like that is legal, but it's fine, don't worry about it. Well, the thing is that if they wait for too long, I mean, I don't know what their tire usage is right now, but I will assume that when they wait for too long, the next lap is gonna be terrible. It's gonna be pretty hard to manage the car. You know, I have to pit in this one. The fuel also is quite... it's more than halfway done. I'm still curious about that weird, like the brake lights being always on for some reason. What sort of bug is that? I'm gonna pit in. If they don't, that's a shame, but I cannot do another lap with these tires. Alright, so the pit entrance is here. Right? This is one of those very abnormal pit entrances. So I don't... Yeah, I don't think they pit stop. Oh no, they did. Well, one of them did at least. I don't know if all of them, but at least one of them did. And I can't believe... Is this gonna be the first balanced race in the whole championship? I don't believe it. Everyone pit in. Absolutely everyone. And that's crazy. It's gonna be the actual first race that is gonna look like a real race where stakes matter. All it took is disabling the traction control, but no, I don't think it's just the traction control. I think it's the fact that, you know, that it's Le Mans. In Le Mans, since there aren't that many slow corners, the AI can basically look like they are going fast when in reality they aren't. That being said, I have an 8-second difference, which is not insane as it was in the previous races, but still quite something. But on the right side, even if that light might be bugged, you can still tell when I'm braking because of the graph in the bottom left. You can tell exactly when I brake and how much I brake. Alright, so if we're doing a pit stop every 4 laps, that means that it's gonna be 8, 12, 16, 20. And 20 is the last one. Okay. That being said, I still think this is a very long race. For being Le Mans this amount of time, feels like it's gonna be way too much. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not that long compared to the previous one. I mean, obviously, yeah, the previous ones were long, but... But the thing is, I don't think it's gonna be maybe that much longer than the previous ones. Yeah, I can tell you that driving this thing without traction control is very scary. It's very scary. It's like you're trying, I mean, I know that it's hard to describe how something feels when you are playing and someone else is not playing, right? Just play to that other person that you're playing. It's kind of like, well, obviously the explanation is like, yeah, it's like trying to drive a racing car in real life without traction control. Yeah, no shit, that's what I'm doing, but to give a better example, it's like, imagine you're running for your life, right? Like you're running as fast as you can, but you are doing so with sandals. You're running for your life. You're being chased by, I don't know, who could you be getting chased by? By Slenderman. I think that Slenderman might be a little bit too old nowadays, but you're running for your life from Slenderman, but you're doing so in sandals that you used to go to the beach, right? That sort of stuff. It feels like that. Like you want to go fast and you try it, but you know that the moment you make a slight motor mistake, you are gonna trip. It would be different if you were using actual runner shoes, well, or any type of shoes that are actual, that are supposed to be used for, you know, running, or not even running, just for walking. But you know, sandals, that's a different story. I think that at least, well, I don't know if this track, this race is gonna be that much interesting after overtaking the first place, but at least it started pretty well. Well, I do have the constant pressure of not being able to do a mistake though. If I do a gross mistake, well, 1 with those 13 seconds of advantage is possible. 2 is not possible though. I mean, I could keep the traction control off for the entirety of the championship, but I think that there will be some exceptions, because you have stuff like, well, Nürburgring is the perfect example. Something like Nürburgring without traction control, no, it's not gonna happen. But then there's also less, you know, fucked up examples like Laguna Seca or, well, Hong Kong or Opera Paris, right? Those are tracks with very slow corners everywhere, and not having the traction control there really seems like absolute pain. But I don't know, I feel like for tracks like that, I don't even want to add any twist. Like, if one of those 4 tracks shows up, well, Nürburgring will most likely show up, but if one of the other that I mentioned shows up as well, I don't think I'm gonna try to do anything out of the ordinary. Like, I think I will use the default driving aids and that's it. Because I really cannot imagine doing Laguna Seca with this. Like, that track is already hard to do with all the default driving aids, so I cannot imagine how fucked up it will be without a single one of them. So yeah, no thank you. I think that it's surprising that Le Mans showed up this early. Especially since the game usually treats it as either the final boss or the second to last boss, right? On a championship. But here, it's in the first half of the championship, not even halfway through. This is the 6th lap, which means that we haven't reached the halfway point. But the halfway point will be well, actually, there is no halfway point, right? No, there is. It's race number 8. So then you have a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, lap 8. Damn, I keep saying lap. Race 8 will be the halfway point of the championship, which is something that might not even happen today. It's most likely gonna happen next time I stream this. And the only way of that happening will be if damn, my brain is working very slow today. If I get a track that I can do in an hour. This one I already know I cannot do it in an hour. So that one is out of the way. In fact, this one is most likely gonna take an hour and a half more. Kinda like the other ones, unfortunately. It is what it is. It is interesting how the tire wear is very similar to my opponents here. This also is the perfect way to see how Le Mans is such a unique track, right? This is very different from any other track so far in the game. Well, with the exception, I guess, of the Motegi Oval. We don't talk about the Motegi Oval. A very fast-paced track like this with barely any slow corner means that your chances of tire wear are a lot lower. The good thing is that I didn't even need to exploit the chicanes here. I was able to, you know, to get the lead by driving clean. Well, and so far obviously it's been the case in every race since, well, the previous ones were absolute destruction, but yeah, this one that is not absolute destruction, thankfully I don't need to go for dirty tactics, you know. Driving like this also, with traction control completely disabled, also makes it so that your tendency of drifting is less, because the moment you drift is the moment you're gonna spin out. So you want to do all that is possible to not drift. I think whatever I decide for the next track will depend on the track. Like, it will fully depend on that and nothing else. I really want to get a Seoul though. That track is perfect for testing stuff. Like if I'll say this. If I get Seoul, I'm gonna try manual transmission. With the driving aids enabled, mind you, but yeah. It's okay, don't worry about that. Okay, we gotta pit in this lap. I also want to believe that my opponents will keep the same strategy until the end of the race, right? I don't think that there will be a lap where they will actually be, no, you know what, I'm not pitting in this one, I'm actually waiting a little bit more. Well, I don't think they will get any benefit from doing that in the first place, you know. Why would they do that? Because I don't think that you will get less pit stops by doing that unless you do it continuously until the final lap. So how is it going, Kyle? I'm here driving with the traction control, well, with any driving aid completely off in Le Mans. You can already tell that my opponents are not as far as they were in the previous races. Right, I gotta pit in, so it's that's a very deadly corner for a pit entrance, dude. What the hell? They released the Ave Mujica collab in China. A cat tail from what? Plant vs Zombies? Wait, what cat tail? What's a cat tail? Is that a word? The tail of a cat? You know that cat tail was a word, but I still don't know what it means. Unless you really meant cat space tail. Feel free to clarify. The Tifa plant? I don't know what plant you're talking about. Like, even if you mention it by name, I probably wouldn't remember it either. You know that The one that grows and has a thick upper area like fluffy corn dog? What, you mean the one that throws butter, or you mean something else? I think you mean something else, right? I don't know what any of those words mean, dude. I'm sorry. I really don't know what plant you're talking about. Maybe I didn't play with it, you know? I mean, it's been a while since... I think it's been like 2 years since I had that playthrough of Plant vs. Zombies on stream. Been quite a while, unless you tell me it's not in the first game. Because if it's not in the first game, I wouldn't know. I didn't play any other Plant vs. Zombie. Well, I did play Garden Warfare, ironically. The game is funny. It's just like any multiplayer game, quite a salty experience regardless. It's from the garden? Oh. Well, yeah, in that case, I don't think I remember. Sorry. I mean, the only plant from the garden that I remember is the marigold. I don't think I remember any other one. But, yeah. I don't think I did much with the garden even back when I was younger, that I played that game quite a bit. You know that I'm not a big completionist. Never really was. But hey, I believe you, don't worry about it. So once you kinda get used to how to do these corners, I think that it's not that terrible to do them without traction control. Like, you kinda know exactly how to start accelerating in corner exit. It's still slow, obviously, but it is something. Kinda works out. I don't know if I remember if I asked you this question before, Kyle. Maybe I did, but did you ever play with manual transmission in this game? Because I'm a little bit afraid of doing it. Like, it's not like it's rocket science, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna start with manual transmission and I'm gonna lose whatever race I start with. I don't play manual in any game. Okay, I guess not then. Well, I usually don't play manual in any game either. Well, you are forcing Ridge Racer depending on the car you pick. I feel like that's something that's pretty cool. Like, there are some cars in Ridge Racer that are super good, but the downside is that they are locked to manual only. I find that to be super cool, because it's like, oh, you want it, well, you have to work for it. Because, you know, it's basically the developers acknowledging that manual mode is obviously harder. So it's like, okay, we will give you a reward if you can manage manual. So that's cool. It's not like I'm completely foreign to manual. Like, I used it a couple times, so I wouldn't be completely unexperienced, but I really think that depending on the track, it has the potential to be a big clusterfuck. Has the potential to be such an insane clusterfuck. But yeah, I'm scared. I feel like it will end up being a mistake. But you know, it also felt like that when I disable traction control, and yet I'm dominating. I mean, not as much as in the previous races, mind you. I think it's good enough. Oh, also something that I didn't do, but it would have been interesting to try, is changing the gear configuration for this. Like making the gears longer, so when you reach the straight, you will reach higher speeds. But I think that's a horrible idea, I guess. I already tried it in the test course with the Minolta, and it did worse. And since this is obviously a lot faster than the Minolta, very satisfied by the design of the Ave Mujica Ops. Will save 120 pulls for them. Well, as long as you have them, that's good. And that reminds me, you know, of when I was playing Genshin Impact. I still find surreal the fact that I actually played Genshin Impact for 4 years. I mean, not because it's a bad game, but because when you do something for that long and you stop doing it, it feels like, you know, it feels weird. But yeah. It had to happen. It got sacrificed for Ragnarok Online. Not quite, but Ragnarok is what's replacing it right now. Also pulling for a new unit in the following months that is an angel in a wheelchair with an anti-tank rifle. Sounds like an interesting design choice. But why would an angel be in a wheelchair? You know, the angels fly. I mean, unless the wings are also damaged. Which in that case, yeah, sure. Like both wings and legs are damaged. You can also call it an orbital strike. It's a little bit overkill if you already have an anti-tank weapon. Hey, what do I know? I don't play Ark Knight, so maybe it's reasonable in that universe. Angels are demons that are possessed by sentient big-ass data centers. I think that has to be one of those supposed deconstructions, like people like to call it. So I think that rather than I don't like that word. I think a better word would be one of those plot twists that are so common that they basically became the cliche that they were supposed to attack, which is angels are actually bad. Like, I've seen that so many times already that I cannot remember last time I seen a piece of media that portrays angels in a positive light, you know? So in that regard, I wish someone did that. Yeah. Well, not even Ragnarok Online is safe from that. A lot of enemies that are angels. That was bad. I'm actually not gaining any advantage because I keep having these accidents. It's what I say, in a track with more corners and with slower corners that are more frequent, like this configuration of the traction control being disabled seems like a terrible idea. Huh. I'm straight up drifting. Well, my rear right tire is not doing very well. So. Yeah, well, there's also that a lot of games from Japan make religion. Like, religion is actually bad, which, hey, it's not a bad message, mind you. It's just that it's being played out to death. So it ends up being a very annoying cliche. I mean, I don't mind talking shit about religions because I don't like them. But I do think that they are lacking in originality. Wow, I lost a lot of time with those accidents. It's more than to be expected, but damn. That's very messed up. I gotta be careful because at this rate I'm gonna lose my lead, you know? Yeah, a JRPG trying to not make the final boss go. Yeah, but you know how it is. Those type of games really love their cliches. It's just the way it is. It is what happens. So it's pretty interesting how between this stint and the previous one, I essentially didn't gain any advantage. Because any advantage that I could have gained at the beginning, I completely pissed it off at the end. Pretty funny. Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. As I say, we want to make this more challenging, not less challenging. The fact that they are close at least makes it exciting. This also seems like it's gonna go to 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's not gonna be as bad as I initially thought, but unfortunately until we can get one race that is only gonna be 1 hour, we are not gonna be able to fit 3 races in one stream. Well, I mean, I can fit them. It's just do I want to fit them? It's essentially gonna like it's gonna be a 4-hour stream without a doubt, if that was the case. And I don't know if I wanna do that. At least it's a Friday, so you know it's not like it's a particularly bad idea. I'm not really sure if I wanna do it. Okay. You can see how even when I start to brake very slowly, the car drifts by itself. Like it just really wants to drift. It doesn't mind drifting at all. At least the good thing is that the brakes on this car are amazing, so if you enter a corner a little bit too fast, seems like you can always stop in time without much trouble. Also, Kyle, I almost forgot. See that thing of the light always being on? Like the red light on the rear of the car? Is that a known bug? Because that's not supposed to be active at all time. It's supposed to be, you know, only active when you brake, but here it's constantly active, so is that a common thing, or is my game cursed? I need to change oil? Well, the oil icon seems to be fine, so. It basically was like that since the very beginning of the race. Like, it's like that is the default car model. So it is a little bit awkward. Maybe it's the same setting with the license test. Yeah, but it didn't happen on the previous races. It's only happening here in Le Mans for God knows what reason. In the previous races that was normal, you know. It was absolutely normal. But here not so much. But it's a little bit weird. Why it decided to happen here all of a sudden. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it kind of makes the car look more cool even. So I don't particularly mind. It's definitely quite awkward. You know, I'm pretty sure that in real life, if that was an actual malfunction of the cars, it's something that will be enough to completely cancel the event. Well, cancel the event or disqualify whoever has that problem, assuming it's only one. But here it happens with every car, not just mine. It happens with the CPU cars as well. Oh, amazing corner, bro. Very, very good corner. Absolutely fantastic. The one place that I lose a lot of time compared to the CPU is in this section. I don't do it as fast as they do. I did that very last sequence of corners quite fast though. You can tell that it goes from like 20 something to 17. They are clearly faster there. It is what it is. I don't think I'm getting past that PB. Like that lap PB. Well, and that's regardless of if I drive well or not. That lap PB was done with slipstream, so it's definitely not happening. Okay, now seeing more of the race, I'm thinking that perhaps doing manual transmission in other tracks is not gonna be as bad as doing no traction control in this. Because being first place is kinda hard to pay attention to it, but the amount of time that I'm wasting right now is crazy. By not being able to take the corners properly. It really is crazy. But I think that the next race, again, it depends on which one it is. I think it will have to be manual transmission with driving aids, most likely. Or basically with driving aids on default. But it's insane how extremely hard it is to do these corners. You might think that I'm not even trying to do them, and it's like, yeah, whatever, and I get into those accidents on purpose, but no. Like, I'm legitimately struggling to take those corners every single time. As crazy as it sounds, it is true. When you try to be more careful, you can do something like that, but like fully accelerating when you are going so slow will make you do that. And if I had an analog input mapped to the accelerator, you could more or less alleviate that. By having a binary button, it's a different story. Though I feel like even if I had an analog button, it would still be very hard to be precise enough to not over accelerate at the corner exit. It will still be quite hard. I don't know what I did on like the first and second stint that gave me such an insane advantage against these guys, and then now I suddenly cannot do it anymore. Because it's not like those 16 seconds came out of nowhere. I did those myself. It seems that I just cannot get any further from them. That's very, very crazy. Like, no matter how many laps pass, I'm still in the same... at the same distance. And sometimes I gain more, sometimes I lose some, but it's always a sum zero thing. That I did those corners decently, but maybe the game thinks otherwise. But the corner that I always fail is this one. It is the one that I want to do. I need to do better. Okay, I will say that was decent enough. Like, it wasn't a work of art, but I will say that it was quite fast compared to how it could have gone. But certainly faster than the previous lap. That's not hard to do. I think that I did all of the hard corners well here, thankfully. Seems that all in all, it went well. It's crazy how you gotta play with the accelerator to take corners like that, though. Not bad, all things considered. I think that at the end I did gain a little bit of advantage. Not bad. Also, theoretically on the next lap, what I could do is to not even replenish fuel, and it's gonna be enough to reach the end of the race. But I mean, I have no reason to be optimal like that, you know? Since my opponents are probably not gonna do it, I don't think it's worth it. I think that if I play with the accelerator like that, you can actually successfully do those corners without much issue. That it works well enough. Pretty funny to see that. I think that some of those houses on the side are kinda supposed to be real houses. You are just chilling in your house, while right next to you have cars going at insanely high speeds, like it's nothing. Quite funny. Without a doubt. I think a lot of this, well, I don't know actually if any parts of this circuit are supposed to be like regular streets. I don't know. I mean, keep in mind that the track is called Circuit de las Arts, so the fact that it's called circuit is something that makes me think that it's all made for racing, but I don't know. Like, the houses at the side don't look like the kind of thing that will only be there for helping with the race. They look like real houses. Not to mention, realistically doing such an insane circuit across such a large portion of mass doesn't seem super realistic. Well, you have Nürburgring as well. I don't know. Honestly, the people that made these tracks are absolutely out of their mind. But if it was exclusive of a racing game, it's whatever. This being real life tracks that somehow were built in real life is quite crazy. I guess Europeans used to do a lot of crazy shit like this. This one is in France and Nürburgring is in Germany. I don't know if the USA has tracks that are that extremely long or not. You have very popular tracks, obviously, but tracks that are very long, I will have to Google it. What's the longest track in the USA? How it compares with these two European titans, right? Now, will I have been able to lap these guys if I use the default driving aids? I have a feeling that I wouldn't, because that probably would mean that I will have to pit stop more often, and the pit stop in this track lasts for quite a lot, so maybe not. Probably not. I have to say that it was quite ballsy of me to completely disable the traction control in Le Mans. I mean, when you think about it, Le Mans as a track, I was about to say that it's not particularly complex. And I say that and I go straight to the wall. I will say that the hardest thing about Le Mans is essentially the speed traps it has. Like, it has a lot of very fast. Oh, that probably would have been a PB if I didn't have that accident. That's a shame. That most likely would have been a PB. Quite a shame indeed. It is what it is. Okay. But I can try going for another PB now. You know? And that seems like well, at least in a track like this that has long laps, it seems that trying to aim for a lap PB is a nice objective when you no longer have to worry about the other competitors, right? Seems pretty nice. At least the good thing is that if I switch to manual transmission for one of the next races, the engine is not gonna blow up, you know? And I mean, in real life, one of the biggest dangers of you know, using manual transmission wrong is that you can, you know, permanently damage the engine. This game has no damage, so that's not a problem whatsoever. I can definitely imagine it being an absolute pain in the ass to do both manual transmission and no driving aids at the same time. I don't even want to try that. I mean, not in this championship. I could casually try it on my own in a race that doesn't matter, but in this championship you don't want to try shit like that. You're most likely gonna go as badly as you think it will go. And I personally think it will go very badly. Oh, that was a very good PB. By 3 seconds. Yes, after all, I'm getting used to trying to... Yeah, I say that and I go off track, nice. You know, to try to accelerate very slowly. Very slowly, rather than slowly, try to accelerate very steady. Works well. Now what will happen if the next track is Nürburgring? That will be very messed up. But for all we know, it could be. What will be stopping it from being Nürburgring, you know? There will be nothing. None at all. This is gonna be the last pit stop of the race. Well, I mean, when I reach the end of the lap, obviously. Still not quite there. I think that I've been able to conserve my tires a lot better, thanks to the fast laps that I've been able to do. No, not really. It seems that upon closer inspection, it seems the same as the previous laps, most likely. But it's whatever. Oh wow, I completely lost control there. That's pretty crazy. Because I don't really understand why I lost control. Maybe it's because the tire is starting to become orange, but that was a completely sudden loss of control. Very, very weird. It is what it is. Very, very weird one. I'm glad though that my advantage here is crazy, that something like that obviously doesn't matter, but damn. That was quite something. Alright. So yeah, final pit stop. And yeah, I guess after all this race ended up not being as long as I thought it was gonna be, or definitely not longer than the previous ones. And the moment I get out of the pit stop, the other cars enter it. That's not a good signal for them, that's for sure. Definitely not a good signal, but it's fine. It happens. Careful there. But one thing is for sure, and trying to guess what the next track is gonna be is gonna be impossible. Like, it could be anything. Now that I know that Le Mans is the sixth one, I mean, this one is anything is possible. We can definitely expect absolutely anything from this. Ooh. Very dangerous corner. I mean, to think that in some of the previous laps, the second place was already on that corner, on that previous corner by now, and here he's not even, well, he's only in the second chicane of the straight. Very messed up that you can actually get quite an advantage. At the end of the day, even if you have a rough start, eventually with so many laps and so much practicing them, you are not gonna have any issues playing normally. Well, by playing normally I mean getting a big advantage from your opponents. No, a huge deal. Right? Well, the next one will be the final lap. Saying that in a track like Le Mans doesn't mean a whole lot. The next one will be in 3 minutes, though. Pretty nice that I guess if you are super optimal with this car, like if you're actually very good at driving, you can probably drive the timer down to 3 minutes per lap. Though 3 minutes is still quite a bit, but for a track like Le Mans, that's very good. That's a very relatively small time. For a track like this one that is the second longest in the game, doesn't seem that long when you can do it like that. It's still long though, that's for sure. This fucking corner. Also, pretty impressive that the opponents are still very spaced out. Like, there is a significant gap between them. It might not look like it because in the mini-map they look pretty close, but I mean, keep in mind that this is Le Mans, so what looks like it's not that big of a distance is actually a big distance. So here, Despite the whole slipstream thing with the straights, they are definitely not going together. I thought they will be going a lot more together, judging by the first laps. I guess at some point the gap started increasing and it never recovered. That was a fast sector without a doubt. A shame about that corner that I did slow, because this would have been a PB. Well, regardless, this is the final lap. We are in the final lap. Yeah. Regardless of how bad a mistake can be like this one, this mistake is terrible. Like, it actually makes you lose a lot of time. But even with a mistake like this, it doesn't matter considering the insane advantage that I have. If this was a... If those guys were close to me, like in the first laps, doing something like that would have been the equivalent of losing the race right there. That is without a doubt. Worry not. We have enough of an advantage for that to not be a problem. Also keep in mind that here keeping an advantage in itself wasn't necessary, because we all pit stop in the same lap every time, but that most likely won't be the case for whatever the next track is. I mean, unless the next track, I really hope it isn't, but if the next track is test course, well, yeah, it will be the same thing. No, I really hope this championship is not asphalt enough to have test course in it. That will be so boring that it will be crazy. Like, that will be next level snooze fest. Because they probably, to match the length of the other races, they will make it like, I don't know, 40 or 50 laps. And 40 or 50 laps in test course are pretty much the equivalent of being in purgatory, you know? Like, maybe the purgatory is gonna be a more pleasant experience than that. I almost had the same accident as in that one lap that I had a sudden drift. I think that happened because of the tire wear. So now, since the tires are in a better state, it's not a problem. Alright, well, that's that. That was a cool race. The result was still obvious, but it wasn't obvious on the first laps. Like, that part is for sure. At some point, I could have easily thought I'm not gonna win this, but I ended up doing it. Alright, pretty cool parade of cars, but yeah. On to the next one. Well, on to the next one after auto-saving, that is. So what could the next one be is very hard to tell. Anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. But I'm ready for it. Track number 7, which will mark the end of the first half of the championship. Alright. In Monaco. 78 laps in Monaco. Well, this is an actual Formula 1 track. I think probably the only one of the whole list of tracks that we did. This is the first one that is actually an official Formula 1 track. So what do I do with this one? Should I try manual in this? Or should I think that I'm gonna try manual because I feel like not having driving aids on this thing is terrible. So I'm gonna leave the default driving aids, which are 10, 10, 5. And I'm gonna switch to manual transmission and see how that goes. Manual transmission should be here, full transmission, and you... No. Wait, where do you change the transmission? Or is that in the options? I mean, it doesn't seem to be here. Maybe it is in the options. I mean, I know the game has manual transmission. That part is for sure. But how do you activate it? Race? Yeah, there it is. Manual transmission, okay. Got it. Well, I guess it's not an option inside of the car because multiple cars don't actually have an automatic transmission even though it's available in the game, right? Okay. Here goes nothing. Again, I'm not foreign to manual transmission. Like, I know the basics of it. I used it before. But at least with the driving aids, I don't have to worry about like the corner exit and entrance. But I mean, it will be wild because it's clear that I'm not gonna be very optimal at all with the gear changes. I mean, mostly, yeah, that's the issue. Mostly the problem is when you brake. I don't think it's that big of a problem to upshift. Like, upshifting is not an issue whatsoever. The problem is downshifting. And the poor engine sounds like it's suffering a seizure. And it probably is. I think I'm also upshifting way too late. Well, a corner like that is fucked up no matter what, though. I feel like I almost prefer having no driving aids than using manual transmission. This is very hard. With a car like this, obviously with a slower car, this will be very possible, but with this thing, this is very hard. I mean, you have the suggested gear at least, so it's not like you have to guess what's the idea. If the poor engine is doing its best, but I'm certainly not doing my best. This actually might have been a bigger mistake than the driving aids. I mean, I think that the driving aids, all things considered, were definitely not a mistake. But this one feels like a real one. I also think that in multiple cases, in fact, here's the thing. I probably shouldn't go below the third gear ever. I think that that's a very bad idea. For the most part. In a car like this, it's like, it's way too much. Like, this car is a beast. You probably don't want to go that low in the gearbox. I do it basically because I'm not really thinking. Very hard to actively think about it, that's the thing. It's very hard. And the first place is that much distance, no? That is a problem. Maybe the idea is that I should go to 1 gear higher than the suggested gear every single time. I think that's what I probably should do. Instead of going for the suggested gear, I should go 1 more higher every single time. This chicane is fucked up no matter what, of course. Ah, shit. You don't want to go 2nd gear there. Damn it, stop harassing me, asshole. Well, the thing is that for tracks like this, what you want to do, and well, obviously that applies in real life as well, but what you want to do is know the track, so you know exactly what gear you go in each corner. By doing it like this, you are essentially, well, using every lap as a test, and you end up obviously losing a lot of time by doing that, to nobody's surprise. To that you have to add the tire wear that will become a problem, without a doubt. Maybe, I think the issue, rather than doing the whole manual transmission thing, the real issue was doing it in Monaco. I think in other track it wouldn't have been that bad, but in Monaco... in Monaco it's definitely a problem. This track is way too complex for experimenting like this. That was a mistake, but it is what it is. At least we do have a lot of time to recover, but it's also true that we might need advantage as always for the pit stop. At least I guess I'm kissing the wall so much that multiple times maybe the tires are not drifting too much because of it. Oops. Needless to say, the engine will have already blown up multiple times if this was real. Well, multiple times. It will have blown up on the first lap and then you're out of the race right there. You know? I wanna believe that the more I drive, the more I'm gonna get used to it and I will be able to make a comeback. At least you can't deny that it will be interesting, because so far the outcome is not decided. I have no clue if I will be able to win this, much as I obviously want to. And the tires are already getting into the bad territory, and that's the biggest issue, because that essentially means that I will lose all the the advantage, the non-existent advantage I have. I have to pit in this lap. Like, I know that it's a terrible thing, but I cannot help it. I need to pit in. I don't want to, but I have to. My tires are getting absolutely fucked. At least the pit stop is very short, but... Fuck, dude. I think that this won't be a victory. But I'm pitting in every 6 laps also means... And that means a lot of pit stops, actually. That means an insane amount of pit stops. And I don't know when these guys are gonna pit stop either. It's the other problem. What am I doing? I need to quickly learn how to... what gears to take in every corner, because I'm gonna get owned very badly here. Like, I actually don't think it would have even been that bad to disable the driving aids here. I feel like I could have probably done the race relatively well, but like this I'm getting absolutely owned. And the worst part is that the tire usage is most likely because of how I'm failing to properly react to the gears. And very scary that these guys had not pit in yet. Very, very scary. It seems that there you want to go for 4th gear. Then keep it until here. Or you probably want to go 3rd. Then here you want to go 2nd. And then you keep the 3rd until here. And I don't know this chicane, honestly. I think for this chicane you want to go 3rd. And maybe go 2nd when you are past this place. Yeah, you want to go 2nd after getting past the halfway point. Or whatever it's called. For this whole sequence though, you probably want 4th gear, I think. Well, not really. For that last one, you want 3rd. There I went to... Fuck, dude. I mean, at least the thing here is that if this would have been... Because this is a complex track for sure, but this would have been a lot worse if instead it was something that didn't have walls to constantly shield you from mistakes. If this was something like Grand Valley, it would have been terrible, for example. Come on. Give me a break. Okay, so they are pitting in lap 9. I don't know if that's a good thing. Is it? I can't tell. I mean, it's obviously gonna be an insane difference between between the amount of times that each one will have to pit in. I guess at this point, I shouldn't really keep track of that. I think my current objective should be pay attention to what I do and essentially the moment that my tires get orange, start pitting in, and that's it. Basically. Nothing more, nothing less. I really feel quite uncomfortable with manual transmission here. Starting with a Formula car was a very bad idea. You want to first start getting used to slower cars before you switch to these monsters. That was the real mistake, I think, but whatever. Too late to go back now. Besides, judging by how I'm doing, it's one of those cases where I will eventually win. I can tell you that I definitely prefer I prefer the lack of driving aids than this thing. This thing basically, I mean, you can say that driving aids is similar in that regard, but it feels like this thing actively makes me think about driving. I mean, that's not a bad thing, obviously, but in long races like this, that's very, you know, like that's very taxing to the mind. That really can drive you insane. Also, with all this manual thing, I kinda got distracted and really did not pay attention to how long this is gonna be. Assuming the lap time is gonna be around 1:18, and these are 78 laps. This also feels like it's gonna go to 1 hour and a half. Well, probably would have been faster if I wasn't dumb enough to pick manual, but it's fine. You know that we gotta try new things, right? Variety is the spice of life and all of that. It also makes it a little bit hard for me to, like, sometimes I try pressing the downshift button and it doesn't happen, and some other times I press the upshift button twice. Like, I'm not really used to the hand positioning needed for this either. Since I never do it, you know. I'm not used at all. I need to pit in. Obviously, once you enter the pits, like, this thing is done automatically. It's not just the accelerating and the braking that is manual. Is also anything related to gears and obviously the driving. Alright, so I will be able to actually exit in front of this guy. So I think that means that my victory is pretty much guaranteed. That's the reason why I wanted to do this in Monaco, because as complex of a track as Monaco is, the fact that it has all these walls that will make sure that you are not gonna go off track, because, well, there is no off track, is something that is a very good guarantee. But obviously it's because the game has no damage. Because if the game had damage, going against the walls is not precisely what you want to do. Having no damage means you can essentially use the walls as training wheels even. You know? The walls are very nice training wheels. The next thing left to try is essentially... I'm not gonna try it most likely, as I already mentioned, but yeah. If you want the real difficulties, mixing manual transmission and no driving aids. Good luck with that. I mean, doing that in a Miata is not a problem, most likely, but yeah. Doing that in a Formula car? That's a different story, you know? A Formula car is quite different from a Miata. Very different. That was a cool shot. Unfortunately, the one thing I don't like about this race is that unfortunately the driving is not gonna look elegant. Because in the other ones, even with the driving aids off, as long as I didn't have an accident, the driving did look more or less elegant. Here, you're gonna be seeing a lot of crashing against the walls and shit like that. Which is unfortunately very ugly to see, but... Trust me, I'm trying not to. Just that I'm not good enough with manual. Hey, I guess I can't complain, you know. All things considered, I'm doing very well. That hairpin doing it with manual is also hard. Well, I think that even if I wasn't doing manual, I think that Monaco is the kind of track that is very hard to make it look elegant because it is a very hard track. Even having all the racing aids available and all that shit, I probably will still be kissing walls, just less often, but it will definitely happen. The thing is that even if the beginning of the race looks hopeless, you have so much time left to practice the track that it's a non-issue. Even with a rough start, you will have enough time to just correct your performance to make it enough, you know. I think the only exception will be Nürburgring. With Nürburgring, I don't think you will have enough time to adapt because good luck adapting to Nürburgring. It's its own thing completely. I think with some exceptions, what I want to do is for the next races to just simply do no racing aids and that's it. I want that to be my only limitation. Good. Manual transmission is definitely quite a limitation. Well, it's a limitation. It's not like it's extremely hard, but I don't think it's as fun as to try to drive, like to do the corners very carefully. Like, I feel like playing around with the accelerator in corners is a lot more fun than figuring out which gear you need to do in each corner. Well, and it's not just figuring it out, it's later on executing it, you know. Also the part that is not very easy. So it seems like here I did... Oh, never mind. I was looking at... I thought this was the lap 18, never mind. I was about to say that my tire consumption was a lot better this time, but not really. Not quite. So something that I gotta say about Gran Turismo 3, like one positive thing I gotta say, is that, for example, in this track on the uphill, it had an insane sunshine that looks super cool. In this game, it seems like when it comes to lighting and illumination in general, it doesn't really try to look spectacular. I think that in that regard, Gran Turismo 3 had a very good sense of art style, if you wanna call it that way. But that's only a very small observation. Straight to pits here. Well, they are gonna pit in as well. Like, ironically, they are pitting in every 9 laps, right? So essentially, every 3 of my pit stops were gonna pit stop on the same lap, which is pretty funny, because with a panorama like that, you might be thinking, like, I should be losing by a lot, but not really. Thankfully, obviously. I wouldn't want to lose. I mean, ideally, I wouldn't want to lose any race. Because even if I can easily win the championship by forfeiting multiple of the races, I wouldn't want to, like, have that negative mark, you know. Also, another thing that I noticed is that, you know, that the red light, the braking lights are actually off now. But that's an issue too, because they are constantly off. They are not getting turned on even when you brake. Actually, that's something I should check, if in the previous streams that was being the case or not. Because I'm pretty sure that that braking light used to work. I don't know why it's not working anymore though. It seems that the lights broke. That's a shame. What can you do? I still don't think that this is gonna be a tremendous advantage though. I still think that it's gonna be... like, I don't even know if I'm gonna lap anyone by the end of the race. It might not happen, but who knows? Something that is also worth noting is that when you use automatic transmission in this car, the shift always happens before you reach the red line, which is something that a lot of times I'm just letting it happen, and I probably shouldn't, because I think that that's ending up making me waste a lot of time. Maybe if it was any other track, it wouldn't be this hard, but it really depends on which one. It very heavily depends which one we're talking about. It's still completely random, like which tracks are part of the championship. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed well, I would have guessed that Monaco will have appear eventually, considering that it's probably the only track in the whole game that is in the real life calendar of the Formula One. So eventually it will have appeared, but it's impossible to guess when. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the only track in the game that is driving Formula One, right? So the real life tracks, I'm assuming some of the urban tracks maybe at some point in one of the Formula One seasons in the past probably got used for Formula One. But aside from that, none of the other ones. Well, Motegi, I don't think Motegi is used in Formula One either, right? Actually, where is the Japanese Grand Prix? Is it in Suzuka? No, right? It feels like such a basic piece of information, and the fact that I don't know it is very sad. What's the Japanese track in Formula One? Because I mean, the whole point of Formula One is that every track happens in a different country, right? And I have no clue where it happens in Japan. Because I say, part of me wants to say Suzuka, but I don't think Suzuka is a track made for Formula One. There is no way. Well, not like it will be bad, it just doesn't seem like the kind of track that will be fitting. But if it is, that means that we already know what one of the next tracks is gonna be. It seems that I'm consistently doing this lap time. I don't know if I can go faster than this. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot, but I think I'm getting a lot more confident with the gears. Like a lot of times right now what I'm doing is upshifting even in places where I don't need to do it for a while. Like I need to upshift for like less than a second and then back to the previous gear. but I'm doing it regardless, so I think I'm actually getting used to it. It's as I say, you have enough time for that. You can definitely get used to it before even the halfway point of the race. That being said, obviously I still need to pit in, and they won't pit in here. They will pit in 3 laps, so... Well, ironically, it's still not enough to overtake me, so essentially here we are more than guaranteed to win this, essentially. Well, it's not bad. I mean, it's a shame that now there's gonna be no stakes. Like, I know that there won't be any stakes, but at least it's fun to try something new like manual. And according to this, and this actually gonna be more than an hour and a half. Like, it's most likely that this race is gonna end in an hour, according to my very rough calculations right now. That's something. Let's assume that I basically use all driving aids and automatic. I think maybe I could do this like, what, 2 or 3 laps faster. That would only be a difference of 5 minutes, so all in all it really wouldn't be that different if I didn't nerf myself, you know. That was a very bad corner for some reason. Now, whenever Nürburgring shows up, I really wonder what my plan is gonna be. Will I really just go full power, not nerfing me whatsoever? Not nerfing myself whatsoever? Or will I try to spice it up? I really think that trying to spice up Nürburgring is the equivalent of trying to use a spicy sauce in, you know, on top of like a jalapeno, right? Like, that's already spicy on its own, but you're adding even more spice. Like, you're gonna end up in the bathroom for 3 days straight. This is a similar logic. Like, the idea that you have to do a track like Nürburgring that is already quite complex, but you're also gonna add more complexity to it. It seems like a horrible idea. Also, considering that I upshift a lot later than the automatic transmission does, the engine is probably even louder here than it was in any of the previous races. So there's that. So this guy should be pit stopping now in this lap. Okay, that was that's what happens when you try to upshift to 7 there and don't even worry about braking in time. It's a bad idea. Definitely gotta say that in a fun scale, the removing driving aids is a lot more fun than manual transmission. But I think gonna move forward with that on the next races. Though, for today, I think that this is the last race. I was contemplating the possibility of doing a third one, but no. That does not seem like a good idea whatsoever. Oh, someone decided to be brave. Someone decided to not pit stop, huh? Someone is playing the hero. Wonder how good that play is gonna be. Probably not very, but you do you. I don't mind. I mean, if anything, if it ends up being good for you, that's nice because it will mean a challenge. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well for you at all. It wasn't a good downshift. Yeah, I think that, well, in real life, that's essentially what the beauty of races is, that with manual transmission there are so many combinations, so many different ways of doing the same track, you know. So everyone, well, most of the times you have like a very clear optimal gear strategy that if you're in a professional environment, it's pretty possible that all the competitors follow. But I think that it's still pretty nice that everyone can kind of have their own style thanks to that. He ran out of biscuit inside the car. But if that was the case, wouldn't he want to pit stop instead? Why would he want to not pit stop? Like, if anything, it will be the opposite. He will pit for biscuits, right? Also, you know, manual transmission is not as terrible as you probably think, Kyle. You should try it out. No, he pitted late. Essentially, he kept... That's why I call him a hero. When someone tries to do something risky and or stupid, usually you call him a hero sarcastically, you know. Or when someone tries to take a corner in a very dangerous way, not only endangering himself but also his opponent, is very common to call them heroes. Negatively, of course. You should try pegging, bro. Man, come on, it's not as... Look, here's the thing. You don't have to do it with a Formula car. Like, you can start with a Miata, you know? I just do like... I'm pretty sure this game has a Miata Endurance, right? Like Gran Turismo 3. I mean, it might not be literally a Miata Endurance, but basically most of the cars allowed are Miata, right? So you could try doing that one with manual transmission to spice it up, you know? I mean, it shouldn't be that hard with a slow car like that. I do admit that with this shit, it is quite hard to perform. It's not very terrible once you get used to it, but it's definitely not easy. Hey, I don't know, I try that. Like, if you are bored one day and you want to play a racing game, and assuming you haven't already done the endurance with the Miata, try it. Because you know that an endurance with Miata is boring as shit. You're doing an endurance with a slow ass car. If you want to make it spicier, just try manual transmission. I don't think... Because, I mean, you should try. Not like... that you have to beat the whole game with it. Just trying one race with the manual transmission seems pretty good. Especially with a slow one. Not to mention, that's the idea, like, the Miatas are not supposed to have automatic transmission in the first, well, none of these cars are supposed to have automatic transmission. Even less so cars like this that are supposed to be competitive. When it comes to competition, like, automatic transmission is almost always outlawed. Because the whole point of competing in a racing event is that the show of skill also involves that. It's a different story though if you are using an electric car, since obviously electric cars don't have gears because they don't have a petrol engine. So there is no reason to do that, but outside of competitions that might include electric cars, they always have manual transmission. Old dog can learn new tricks. Bro, you are younger than me. You are younger than me, and the only game that I ever used manual transmission on was Race Racer. And I didn't use it for an extremely long time. In fact, I'll tell you more. The only place in that game where I used manual transmission was in the oval, which is something that you need to upshift until you reach full speed, and then assuming you make no mistakes, you don't downshift ever again for the rest of the race. So you cannot tell me that I'm used to manual transmission. I'm not. Just that it's not the first time, but you should try it. I mean, if you're asking for what... Well, first of all, hold up. What button do you use to brake and accelerate? Like, are you an L2 and R2 user, or are you a square and cross user? Because I personally use a square and cross, well, in any old game that has it by default. There are a lot of games that, even though you can change it, it's not a good idea. R2 L2. I got the modern racing game brain rot. Well, if that's the case, I recommend you to... Hold up. I promise that it's hard to imagine a button layout that I'm not currently using right now. I trying to imagine it kind of fucks with my brain a little bit. Even though I used it before, it's just that I'm trying to think. Actually, I did do it once, I'm pretty sure, with a game called Indy 500, which is an arcade game. Like, I'm pretty sure I used the... No, but I didn't use manual transmission. Or did I use manual transmission? Fuck, no, I don't know. I think I did use manual transmission. And manual transmission, I use circle for upshifting and square for downshifting. So you can try that, you know. Actually, no. Hold up. I'm trying to think. No, forget about what I said. I mean, that's not a bad idea in itself. But another thing that you can do instead of that is, just like I'm doing right now, use L1 and R1. Might be even more comfortable if you use the triggers to accelerate and brake. But yeah, since right now I'm doing the opposite of that, because I'm using square and cross, it's pretty hard for me to ergonomically imagine it because I essentially will have to either pause or crash, you know? I mean, you can try either. See which one is more comfortable. I don't know. I do suggest you to give it at least one try. In a single race. But the idea is that the race is long, because if you try it in a short race, you won't have enough time to get used to it. Unless you are willing to go multiple races, of course. What buttons for the gears? That's my question, because I feel like L1 and R1 are not a problem even if you use the triggers. But if that is a problem, because as I say right now I cannot imagine how that will be. You can try a square for downshift and circle for upshifting. Like either of those should work fine. You choose whichever one is more comfortable. Yeah, basically L1 and R1 or square and circle. I mean mostly because of how it tends to be by default, but I have the downshift on the left side and the upshift on the right side. So basically square will be downshift, circle will be upshift, and the same with L1 and R1, you know. So yeah, you could try. We'll see how it goes. Okay, hold up. Now that I'm in pits, I kinda wanna see it. If you do it like this... Honestly, in L1 and R1 doesn't seem like that bad of... Yeah, actually, no, that is a good idea, I feel. It's just that maybe... It depends a lot on your muscle memory, I feel, but... Because maybe you will kinda get it a little bit confused with the fingers that go in acceleration and brake, and you might fuck up, but... I think that... Yeah, try either one. See which one works for you. Like, I don't think it should be a bad idea. I mean, at least you also gotta be grateful that it's a sequential shift. In most games, you do a simple sequential shift and that's it. Because if you have an H gearbox, you have to basically map a single button for every gear. I don't think that's something that you would wanna do. And that's something that I did for Daytona. Daytona is a game that you have to play that way. Because automatic mode in that game is trash. So you gotta play it like that, and there is no sequential transmission. Well, and it's a good thing that there is no sequential transmission, because otherwise it will be impossible to do. Well, not impossible, but it will be harder to do gear drifting. It's the main mechanic of the game, pretty much. It was funny. Hey, look, at least I overtook one of these guys legally. With manual transmission. Yeah, not bad. What's important is that whatever buttons you use are buttons that are constantly at your reach. because you will constantly use them. It's not like there will be, well, yeah, unless you are doing Le Mans, and in Le Mans, obviously, in the main straight, you're not gonna be doing shit, but if you do any other track, you're constantly gonna be pressing them. I mean, here I'm constantly pressing them, like with the same type of frequency as acceleration and brake. So that's what's important. It has to be in a comfortable position because you will use it a lot, no matter what. I really do wonder if I'm doing this track now that I'm more used to the gears, if I'm doing it faster than if I was using automatic. I very highly doubt it. From a logical standpoint though, an optimal manual usage will always be faster than an automatic one. It depends though. There are some modern cars that, for what I know, do have like super optimized automatic gears, but for the most part, you want to go manual if your idea is to go fast. That's assuming you can use it optimally, of course. A bad manual is, like, if you use manual badly, it's obviously gonna be worse than using automatic, you know. Here I don't know. Like, all of these races, I'm just very curious how they will be if I didn't nerf myself whatsoever. I'm very curious to see, well, not the outcome, because yeah, I know what the outcome is gonna be. Gonna be the same as right now, basically absolute victory. But yeah, the question is by how many laps I will be lapping the first place, for example. I mean, here I'm pretty sure I will manage to lap the first place. I don't see any reason not to. At the beginning it didn't look possible, and I almost said like there is no way I lap him, but yeah. Now I say the opposite. There is no way I don't lap him. Even if it's not now, it will eventually come. The lapping. The lappening. There is also a relatively short track, so with no nerfs whatsoever, I probably would have overtaken this guy a lot earlier. I would have lapped this guy a lot earlier. Almost without a doubt. In its lap I have to pit in, so we're definitely not gonna overtaking them yet. Before the end of the race it will happen. Oh, I also recently got a PB. My previous PB was 118, but it probably was one of the laps that I had an opponent at slipstream range, most likely. It always happens. Here it kinda is feeling like I wasn't using manual at all with how quickly I'm approaching this guy. It's like I have no nerves at all. So yeah, that's how quickly you can get used to something. I mean, in this particular track, of course, that's something that I mentioned at the beginning, but the biggest thing here is that you kinda know each corner in what gear to do it, like how fast to go. Like, if I were to use manual on the next race, it will take me again time to get used to that. That's the biggest problem about manual transmission. It's very particular to the track you are driving on. The moment you do another track, you have to think of a new strategy. And I mean, for a lot of people, it comes naturally. At that point, you do have to have a lot of practice with manual. Definitely cannot just start with it if you want to be able to scout every track with no issues. So it seems that there is not a single place in this track that I use the 7th gear. Like, I did use it a couple of times and it was a mistake. So I wonder if automatic here will make you reach the 7th gear. Maybe it would, but it really feels like it's a terrible idea to reach 7th gear here. Because even in the uphill, it seems that you don't have enough room to go that fast. Well, here at Slipstream you probably would. Yeah, see, at Slipstream you have enough speed to reach 7, but yeah, outside of that, not so much. Now, even if I do say that I prefer the lack of driving aids compared to manual transmission here, I think that not having driving aids in a track like this will be crazy. Like, the corners of this track are so fucked up that no driving aids definitely sounds like a big mistake. What's important is that I remember that the options currently say manual transmission. Just to disable it for next time, basically. I mean, if it's a super easy track, I'm still waiting for Seoul. I feel like I would even be willing to disable, to go with both manual and no driving aids for Seoul, but like such an easy track like that will be nice to do that. Keep in mind that so far, none of the hard tracks that I mentioned show up. Not a single one of them. I wonder which one will be the first one. I mean, I will assume Nürburgring won't be the first one. Basically, at that point, it's a matter of Laguna Seca or Opera Paris or Hong Kong. I feel like any of them could appear first. Without a doubt. Oops. That was bad. It also really changes a lot. When you are in slipstream, the gears are completely different. It's very easy to get thrown off by that. You're at slipstream and suddenly your acceleration increases so much that it's pretty hard to tell what's the right gear to use. What's the right gear and at what moment. The guy is pitting in. Why are you pitting in? Actually, no, that's fine. Actually, I feel like some of them are pitting in late, guys. Since it's every 9 laps, it should have been on lap 45, right? So the interesting thing is that I lapped the first place now, because he pit in. Well, there you have the lapping happening. There you have it absolutely happening. I was checking in for my 3DS and there are almost 0 card games. Card games? I mean, I'm assuming that there are Yu-Gi-Oh games for the 3DS, right? So you could play those. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. Only shit like Solitaire, only 1 Yu-Gi-Oh game, and 1 Monopoly clone game. That's pretty funny. I don't know, well, unfortunately, I have 0 recommendations to you for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't play card games, but even if I did, I'm very ignorant of the 3DS library, you know? I keep in mind that from the 3DS, the only game that I played was Mario Kart 7. That's the only 3DS game that I ever played. So that should tell you enough how little I know about that console. Like, I know more about the PS Vita than the 3DS, just to give you an idea. Oh, speaking of that, you know, remember that the other day I mentioned that one of the few games that I played on my PS Vita was a Hot Shot Invitational something, right? Which is a golf game. Well, apparently today, a Steam version of that series released. I think it's called Everyone's Golf something. Some people say that it performs like, oh, I forgot to pit in. Ah. Oops. Well, that's a problem. Nah, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, the tire is orange, but it's not red, okay? Yeah, Everyone's Golf. It's just that in the USA, the Vita version was called a Hot Shot Invitational something. Well, a lot of them are called like that, but yeah, originally they are called, I think, Mina no Golf or some shit like that. The girl that looks cool. Come on, dude. I mean, I seen that there is a kid in the game, but I don't think that that's particularly surprising in a game like that. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna forget to pit stop again. So let me pit stop first. Oh, actually, I didn't do that badly with the... with the driving on that thing, all things considered. Hold up, let me also think of something else. So ironically, if I hadn't waited one more lap to pit in, I would have had to not pit in on the final lap, because following that pattern, lap 78 will have been another one that I will need to pit in, and that will be the final lap. Actually, no, I think that theoretically I wouldn't need to pit in, because it will be precisely because it's the final one. Like by the time that you will pit in, you should go through the finish line instead. Okay, never mind. Well, in that case, that was indeed a mistake, but who cares? Not like I lost time anyway. But yeah, it's a game with a very colorful cast of characters. But you know what's the funniest thing, though? I mean, I know you won't play it. And you know why I know you won't play it? Because it has kernel level anti-cheat. For some reason. A game like that has kernel level protection. Can you believe that, dude? Yeah, bro, I know. I know. Hey, go to the Steam page. Go to the Steam page and look at the disclaimer on the side that says, you know, accepting like the terms and conditions from a third party, or well, whatever that section is called, and it says that kernel level anti-cheat, just like that, in a golf game that isn't even competitive in the first place. It's like putting that in a Mario. Well, Mario wouldn't leave a Nintendo console, but I mean that it's as ridiculous as putting something like that in a casual game like a Mario game. You know? It is the way it is. What can you do? I mean, if it wasn't for that, I still wouldn't buy it because it's like $31 or whatever. Too expensive. Kernel level anti-cheating cheat engine. It might be. You never know. Essentially, some of these things are getting very, very invasive. Very fucked up altogether. It's whatever. There's not much you can do about it. I mean, you know that ironically, that is a good reason to own a console. Because you know that no matter what, any stupid... Well, first of all, most games don't even have like a super strong anti-cheat like they have in PC, assuming there is a PC and console version. But aside from that, it's the fact that even if there was a very intrusive software like that, I mean, it would just damage the console. Like, it wouldn't damage your PC. Because a PC is way more personal than a console, obviously. Since you have more than just games. So, ironically, that's like an advantage of having a console. That you know that no matter what, you don't have to put up with intrusive software. Since there's not much to intrude on in the first place, you know. That being said, you can also just wait for the cracking groups to do their job and just remove that shit right away. Funny how we have anti-chip that scan your DNA and shit, but the only ones that I seen banning people are Valorant and maybe CSGO. Well, that's because those are competitive games, so if people cheat on those, it's kinda like the whole thing gets compromised. If someone cheats in something like... Well, actually, no, let me tell you. There were cases of people getting banned in gacha games as well. So it's not just those. Like, anti-cheat, the thing is that it catches the... I'm pretty sure it catches the most basic cheat stuff, right? So, you know, ironically, the other day I was playing Ragnarok Online, like the Latin American server, and all of a sudden it showed a message saying illegal program detected, which I found to be pretty funny. Thankfully, the only thing that it did is logging me out, and that's it. It didn't ban me or anything stupid like that. Can you fucking believe that? False positives, I guess, are always a thing. There was a tournament on Apex and one guy got cheats injected into his game live. Pretty funny. It's kinda like with ad blockers, you know. You have a lot of shit that supposedly combats ad blockers, and well, ad blockers also combating ads, but at some point they one-up each other and it becomes hard to follow, right? Just the way it is. Those type of things are a constant battle, and anti-cheats are also like that. It's just that the problem with anti-cheats is that they make your PC suffer the consequences, and it actually hurts legitimate users. There is all of that on top of, you know, being useless sometimes. RCE exploits. Yeah, I don't know the specifics, because you know that I don't play I don't play multiplayer games, and definitely not FPS games, but yeah. When there is the possibility to cheat, some people will always try to cheat. That's undeniable. This time I didn't forget to bid. Okay, let's just bid in real quick. We found the Mercado Libre mod APK. Huh. That would be nice. Just having an e-commerce account that can purchase things unlimited for free. It will always obviously be found out very easily. You imagine just going to an e-shop and purchase anything you want without worrying about the money? Would be pretty cool. But, you know, that's not a viable thing. The Ragnarok Online, you know that I managed to reach level 156 with my Warlock, and I'm still leveling up. Because right now I'm leveling up in Illusion Turtle Island, where the monsters have a shit ton of HP, but also give you a shit ton of experience. So you end up leveling up very quickly, even in levels that you're not supposed to level up pretty quickly. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And I think it also gives you the same experience regardless of your level or something like that, so it's very crazy. I got 200 something, even something, then even voting it was so slow. No, because see, you don't understand. The strategy has to be going to parties with random people. I mean, I don't know what server you were playing, but there is a mechanic in the official server that is called the Adventurer Agency, where you post your party, well, the leader of the party posts the party and tells you what level to what level is allowed and where you go, and you can join by simply clicking the party that you want to join in the list. So that makes leveling up very easy, assuming you can actually go to those parties, of course. You're talking about official, well, yeah. Right now, official should have that. We had a Gramps on Eden, but I think it was weekly. Yeah, but as I say, that's not necessary. You just need to find a party in your level using the Adventurer Agency. Oops. And that's good enough to... that's good enough to level up in almost any instance. It obviously depends how many people are playing in the server. If there is very little people, I guess there are some levels that are not gonna be covered, but here a lot of people are playing. Not as much as I would like though. Like, I have the bad feeling that the Latin American server is not gonna last as long as I thought it would. Especially considering that a company like Gravity wouldn't mind cutting losses even if that means screwing on thousands of users, you know. Like any MMO company wouldn't mind doing that, so... The thing is that I'm a little bit afraid that the numbers might not be good enough for them to actually allow, you know, the server to continue. I don't know. Hard to tell. Something that's the type of thing that only time will tell. Today, well, not today, but this week, what they did is they implemented the Doram races, like the little kitties. So yeah, like with this stream of updates that are constant, that are obviously updates that already existed, but they are releasing them one by one instead of dumping them all at the same time or already starting with them. It feels that a lot of people will probably stay for a while. What will happen when they run out of updates, when they actually get to the same level of the official? That's the thing with online games. At least with gachas you can check their revenue, but in MMO those hide in the shade. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Like, you know what, a lot of people a lot of times are like, why do you care about the finances of the company? Like, you're a player, dude. Just worry about playing. But yeah, if the game is an online service that can be closed at any moment, you kinda wanna know how well it's doing. Because if you invest time in something like that only for it to eventually close, well, as long as you got what you wanted from it, is fine, you know? It's what I say about Genshin Impact. Like, Genshin Impact could close tomorrow and I wouldn't care because I already got everything I wanted from that game. Like, I had a good time, I played a lot of the story, like, I had the characters I wanted to have. Like, basically, I stopped playing that game with no regrets, because I did everything I wanted to do. So if it closes tomorrow, is whatever, but there are a lot of games that probably you still didn't do what you wanted, and suddenly they are like, oh, we're gonna close next week. Oopsies. And when that happens, it sucks. It sucks even more for people that invest money into it. It's just that that's something that I can all relate to. I never paid for a single free-to-play game in my life. Ever. If a game is free-to-play, I'll play for free, as advertised, you know? Like, I won't care about paying money, even if it's a game I like. Free to play means free to play, and I'll keep it that way, you know? But yeah, in that case, investing money into it wouldn't be a problem because I don't do it. I would at least want to do everything that I want to do in that game before it closes. I will assume though that the Latin American server will last at the very least until, you know, until they are even with the updates compared to the Korean server, but yeah, I don't know. Also, I forgot to pitch in the previous lab, by the way, just as an interesting piece of information. I completely forgot. My bad. It is what it is. I'll pitch in on this one, don't worry about it. Oops, Tim. My tires are starting to drift too badly now. It's fine. If Ark Knight closes, it will be almost as sad as when Soon said no more Toho. But Soon never say that. What are you talking about? When did Soon say not more Toho? Did that came up to you in a dream? It was revealed to you in a dream or what? I don't remember him saying that. So if anything, that will be a good thing, you know? Considering the final, like the last 3 games he released, that wouldn't be a bad thing. that, if anything, would be something positive. Unless instead of when you meant to say if. I would also disagree there. It's like, as I say, that will be a good thing to me. Wait, I'm gonna read that in a second. Give me a second. Well, a second. Give me more than a second. Give me until the uphill, since I don't need to pay attention to the uphill. I planned it as if it was the last one and some cryptic shit like that. Well, talking about 20 or another one. Well, I'm assuming, I mean, if he say that about UFO, it's pretty clear that it didn't happen, you know? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that if he says something like that, it would have been for 20. You know? You say that because you didn't play the latest games, dude. It would be fine if it ended here. It made me thinking that if it was the final game, everyone would probably be satisfied. It turned out to be pretty emotional. Wait, okay, sure, but what game is he saying that of? Is he saying that of 20? There's nothing emotional about 20. It's okay if it ends. I'm used to it being the last one. I was thinking the whole time I was making it. Well, yeah. It was on a live stream after 20 release. Well, I was gonna say the only emotional thing is how much the mechanics suck, but I think I would probably be too harsh. But what I'm trying to say is, if you play those games, because I know that you are waiting for something to keep playing the Toho games and you haven't played them from 16 onwards, right? But if you play 20, you will probably agree that it's probably for the best that it ends there. I wouldn't call it a bad game. It's just that it's not at the level of quality that the other ones are. And he went on a tangent on... Hold up. Give me a second. On how modern Windows broke the sample he used. What do you mean it broke? Is it an actual instrument? Because I thought he was just using like a digital audio workstation, right? There's not much you can break there unless you break the computer. If it was a physical trumpet, I mean, just purchase another one, dude. I know that they are probably expensive, but I'm pretty sure you have more than enough money for that. Windows broke that? Yeah, but that's a very shitty excuse. Like, it's software. Software doesn't break. I mean, yes, software can crash and shit like that, but if you have the presets for an instrument, you just need to replicate them again. Yeah, I guess he didn't save it. He forgot to do Ctrl S. He's Japanese, so he doesn't know what an OS is. An option select. I don't think Sun is the kind to play fighting games, you know. No, but I mean, my advice is before getting sad, wait until you play that game. Maybe you will think that it's the best one ever. Hey, I don't know. It's possible. I'm just gonna tell you, wait to play it before feeling sad. You know? I think that once you play, you will feel a lot less sad. I wouldn't worry too much, bro. And we're already past the hour and a half. Timestamp of the race. So this race is so far the longest one in the championship. I mean, I guess it's fitting for Monaco. I wonder how many laps this is in real life in the Formula 1 championship. Because I don't think it's 78. I think it might be a little bit less than that. But maybe it is 78, I don't know. I'm not that knowledgeable. Wait, oh, I was also supposed to pit stop there then. I keep not pit stopping when I should. I can't help it, I don't do it on purpose. Like, I'm not that much of a moron, believe it or not. Just that I keep forgetting. And I guess it is because maybe I'm taking care of my tires better, because I mean, better than at the beginning of the race when I was just crashing against every single wall that appeared, you know. It's certainly better than there. I'll definitely tell you that I don't think I'm gonna use manual transmission again unless unless I combine it with no driving aids, which is probably not gonna happen, so yeah, I don't think I would want to do it. But hey, at least it was a cool experience, you know, to play Gran Turismo with manual transmission. I actually think it's the first time I play Gran Turismo with manual transmission, like any Gran Turismo game in general. It was a cool experience, I guess. It was nice. It's pretty cool. You know, I think that even in cases like that where you have slipstream, trying to go to 7 gear is an exaggeration. It feels like the amount of time that you lose by not upshifting is less than the time you lose by trying to brake from the insane speed that you are going at 7 gear. Something that I gotta say is that it's very satisfying to upshift. Like the little finger movement that you do for upshifting is very cool. Like trying to like tap the button, it's just something that it's a very nice feeling, I say. Since, you know, upshifting is a lot easier than downshifting. That's the reason why it feels so satisfying to do. Wow, that was very late braking. So will I be able to finish the race having lapped the first place twice? I don't think so. Because I still need to pit stop one more time. Well, they also need to, actually, yeah, never mind. If they need to pit stop one more time, then I clearly will lap him a second time. I mean, I technically already lapped him a second time, but he recovered the position, you know. After that hairpin, the acceleration that this thing does with the driving aids is crazy. Like, you will hear like the engine kinda does very little, I don't know if you should call it pauses or how you call it, but it does a very weird sound, like it's trembling. I think that's because of the driving aids. If they weren't there, it probably would struggle to accelerate. That's pretty funny. Now some corners are so fucked up that even with driving aids you can tell that the car is struggling. I was gonna say that maybe the next race that I do, that I'm probably gonna do it in automatic, maybe I will miss the control that you have with manual, but considering that that's not gonna happen for a couple days, since I mean I'm not gonna play this tomorrow, by that time I probably forgot the control that I have, because once you get used to it, it does give you a sense of control over the car that you obviously don't get with automatic. Because here you can decide to go any gear you want. You don't have to, you know, perish to the whims of automatic, right? But yeah, I probably wouldn't think that, because I probably will forget how it feels by then. But yeah, no worries. For example, this corner, doing it in 4th gear all the way, like not needing to downshift a single time, is something that if you do automatic you cannot do. You're probably gonna downshift to 3 if you go on that speed, you know. It's whatever. When are these guys pit stopping? Oh, this is lap 72 for him. So they should be pit stopping right now, actually. He will pit stop there. I found some card games that they were Japanese only, of the Car 5 Vanguard series. I had no idea that franchise existed. Yeah, I cannot recommend you if you should play it or not, so not sure what to tell you. Yeah, I think that right there, it's basically follow your instinct. Just follow it, see what it tells you. Okay. But when you think about it, it's pretty crazy how... Like, I like video games a lot, right? But it's crazy to me the amount of games that I have no idea that they exist. And, well, forget about the amount of games that I haven't played. Like, as much as one can like video games, it's so hard to basically be like all present with it, right? Like to play everything there is to play, or at least everything that is worth playing. Like, it's such a hard thing to do, especially with the fact that video games never really stop coming out, and now that indie games are a possibility and the tools to make a game are a lot easier than before, you will have a lot more games coming out than there were before. It's just crazy how it's a never-ending, you know, list of media that you will never run out of. I mean, you obviously can have no game you wanna play, but the thing is that you will always have games to play. Like, you will never run out of games. That's for sure. The name is a little bit silly, but can be shittier than Future Car Body Fight. That's a pretty stupid name for sure. Well, the thing about Vanguard is that it reminds me of Vanguard Princess, which is a very peculiar fighting game, so it can't be that bad, right? Surely. There are some games that people say are classic, but I find them so shit, like the LucasArts point and click games. But the thing is that point and click games are a product of its era. There is a reason why the point and click genre is dead. Like, nobody would prefer playing that to any other modern alternative. But it's something of its time. This is the final lap, by the way. Damn, the amount of time that I spent on this race is crazy. It's almost gonna be a minute. I hope. I mean, I wish. No, an hour and 50 minutes, dude. That's crazy. That's been the longest race so far. Really went a little bit overboard with this one. And I don't think I can blame the manual transmission for that. It wouldn't have been that much faster. If anything, it probably would have ended at the 1 hour 40 minute timestamp if I wasn't using manual transmission, assuming I would have lost that much time. And that still will make it the longest track in the championship so far. Which is scary because it means that it's pretty possible that like a future race might take 2 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. It will happen regardless. I'll make it happen. Hey, whatever. You didn't click on the cat 1 second after loading into this area, now your game is soft-locked forever. Well, yeah, that's a very particular example of a very shitty point and click one, but The thing is that most point and click games are basically games that you don't have much reason to play them outside of maybe the comedy or in case the story is very interesting, but gameplay wise there is no reason to play them. As I say, it's a reason why that genre is dead. Like, with so much better alternatives, most people are obviously not gonna bother with it. Alright. I'm surprised that it didn't show up that the replay is not gonna get saved, because that was longer than some of the other ones, so that's weird. Unless it showed up and I didn't pay attention, it's possible. Then 55.5% of completion, that's pretty funny. So before I forget, I'm gonna... Because I can already imagine starting next stream with manual transmission and getting absolutely fucked. Wait, steering display off? Oh, to... Actually, that's... Oh, never mind. It's only possible when you use a steering wheel. And what about this? Normal simple? I guess that means less objects in the UI. No, it's fine the way it is. Alright. So, with that... that will be it for me for today. I really had the idea that it might have been possible to do like a third race, but no, there is absolutely zero way there is. Simp mode, of course. But you know, that will be it for me for today. As I always say, I'm most likely not gonna stream this on like tomorrow, but it's okay. Whenever the next stream is of this, I obviously will continue with it. So yeah, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream with something else. So have a good one, and take care.